obviously you and I could talk together underwater. So
yes,
I'm going to turn us back to the subject at hand now, which is all about light language. So can you tell me a bit about how you first got introduced to light language? And for somebody listening at home for the first time, or hearing maybe for the first time, the concept of light language, how would you explain that to them?
So I'll explain what light language is first. So if you think of the earth, the world, we have many different languages. It's all vocal. It can be written down, songs in different languages. You can still feel the emotion of a song in a different language, even though you don't understand the words itself. So for those that understand star planets, there's different starseed planets. Past lives, we can come from different star solar systems. Each one has a different light language. And I want you to understand that a vibration is simply energy. And depending on how that energy moves will be the frequency. So is it okay if I just give a little bit of a longer explanation?
Yes.
Yes. For those, I'll explain visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. If you're visual, imagine a color. If you're auditory, imagine a note. If you're kinesthetic, a feeler, imagine just one sensation. That's energy. A vibration, I want you to think of, if you're visual, that the color just pulses. Doesn't matter how it's pulsing, just choose one. If it's auditory, imagine that there's an echo. You know, all the songs now, they're all, I don't know what you call it, but
reverb.
Thank you, reverb. And if it's a sensation, you're a feeler, I want you to think of it as a pulse. And now that we go to a frequency is something that changes the type of vibration, type of energy. So if you're visual, it'll be the shade of the color. If you're auditory, it'll be the octave of the note, whether it's the same note, but it could be 2 octaves higher, 1 octave lower. If it's kinesthetic, it'll be a light sensation or a heavy sensation or a soft sensation at that pulsing. If you want to think of a radio, radio station is a frequency in itself. It gives you a different radio station. So light language has different frequencies for different things, and different star systems have a different language. I speak about 4 really well, fluently, if you want to say it that way. And the 5th one just drops in every now and then.
Oh my.
So I find that light language is like coding on a computer. We're all energy. It just changes the program. The more you listen to it, the more the body, the energetic body, the etheric body begins to align with that frequency, depending on what you're wanting.
So I listen to a lot of solfeggio beats.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So it's also Hertz music. Some people, HERTZ.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because I listen to that a lot before a mediumship reading or like a clairvoyant reading or something to really raise my vibration. Sometimes though, it's like, whoa, it's too intense. Like I've played it for people around me and they can't handle listening to it. So do frequencies become something that we get adjusted to and then we're able to kind of raise, or are some days we can handle a certain frequency and in other days we can't? Does it change?
So what I always say is sometimes people go into shock with the sensations or how they're receiving it, and they get a little bit of a fright, so they freeze. And what happens, the energy can get stuck in them. And if they're doing the shallow breathing,
I shallow breathe way too often.
Sorry, if they're doing the shallow breathing, what happens is that they're amplifying that anxiety within them, within that energy.
Right.
So if they can deep breathe into the navel, they'll actually move the energy within themselves. I always tell my students, my clients, that our intention is the direction. It gives us the navigation, whether we want to attract or push regarding energy. Our breath is the machine that moves the energy. If we're shallow breathing, we're losing energy in how we gain that momentum. If we're doing deep, deliberate breaths, we're actually moving with momentum and a gentle, solid force.